Hi, I'm Benny Friedman. Stay tuned. Taped with Rabbi Doug is next.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight.
But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug.
Oh, everybody talk about
Shalom, welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug.
We are here in Chicago, Illinois, at the home of Eli and Berkovich. They are dedicating this Torah in memory of Zev Wolf, Ben Meir, Eli's father, who passed away 15 years ago. This Torah Scroll is being completed by the Sofer, the Scribe, Rabbi Yochanan Nathan, and we are here right now as the Torah is being finished. Each person taking a turn, appointing Rabbi Yochanan Nathan, the Scribe, the Sofer, to finish another letter in the Torah as we come to the completion of this Torah Scroll. And then there will be a parade celebrating the completion of this Torah Scroll to the location where it is going to be placed to be read every week.
Shalom, welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. We are here at the home of Eli Berkovich, and we are here about to dedicate a Torah Scroll, a Sefer Torah. And Eli, tell me a little bit about who this Torah is being dedicated to, or in memory of, actually, and what made you decide to have a Torah written and dedicate it. And I understand it's going to be placed for use in Heritage Congregation on Touhy Avenue in Chicago. What made you decide to do a Torah Scroll?
So I had this idea. It's for my father.
Blessed memory.
Blessed memory, right? It was for him, and he was nifter 15 years ago. And we did not have any. He did not have any grandkids when he passed away. And his first grandson was born about 3 years later. And we named him. After my father, so he was the first Berkovich to be named after my father, which was very special, obviously, for us.
Very special.
And I told my wife at that point that how nice it would be if we could have Zevi read from his own Zaydi's Sefer Torah. So a few years ago, we were sitting at after Chafei Tishrei's yahrzeit, my father's yahrzeit. We were sitting in Heritage.
And it says right here, Chafei, the 25th of Tishrei.
Correct.
Okay, which is
so we were sitting there, myself and a few very close friends and my brother. And I said, I have this idea to do this for my father in his memory. And it was like 2-3 in the morning, and we said, okay, let's make it happen. Let's do it. And I said, and since then we went through Rabbi Agustin, who's the assistant rabbi at Heritage. And then he called an agent in Israel, which I didn't even know the whole process of how all of this is done, which was really interesting to begin with. But it was really all throughout. My main focus was to not treat it as just a transactional thing, but to have it be very, very personal and very, very auspicious the entire time.
very nice. So it says on the mantle of the Torah, it says Zev Wolf ben Reb Meir, and is your son Zevi also Zev Wolf?
So my son is Zev.
Just Zev.
It's just Zev. His second name is Chaim.
Okay, I was curious about that. And tell me this. This is it's just you and your brother. They're just two children, right?
Correct.
2 children. Along with the Torah, which is an expensive and long process. It took about 3 years for the Torah to be written, and it's very small print compared to some of the heavier, larger Torahs. So you have to really be very careful as it's being written. Along with that, and having the mantle made, and having the Atzechaim, the Torah holders made. You also have to have this embroidered. And then you also had, these are sterling silver.
Correct.
The sterling silver yad, the pointer, which is going to go with the Torah. And I want to show this beautiful keter, this beautiful crown, which you have made also. Obviously, a very long process to get something that only matches, but it's also beautiful in silver and solid silver. This is it's just beautiful, and I wanted to just show what it looks like with all the ornaments on it. And it's a beautiful thing. What a great tribute to your father's memory. A great tribute to your father's memory. We're going to take a look at the finishing of the writing of the Torah today. We're going to take a look at the parade, God willing it shouldn't rain, to the synagogue where it's going to be used, where you are placing it to be used. And we're going to take a look at just the process that goes along with this. It's such an interesting thing. Have you ever been involved in any writing of a Torah before? Have you ever? Never. No. So this is the first time for you.
Yep.
First time for you all the way around. Wow, this is great. Well, I'm so excited to share this simcha with you. For those who are watching, is there anything you want to tell them that might be of interest that we don't know? And if there's not, that's okay, because you've told us a lot already. Anything else in the process of just getting this all done that made it be the great event that it is?
I think the main thing that I've realized throughout the process and leading up the last couple of weeks is that when you're doing it within a community setting, it's not just for yourself, it's a simcha for the whole community. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people in the last couple of weeks have come up to me and mentioned how they would want to enhance the simcha by coming to share in it. And it's just, you realize more and more that it's not just an individual milestone and special time, but to share it with people around you, your family, your community, makes it all the more worthwhile.
Well, the Torah should be passed down within the family for use to your children, God willing one day to your grandchildren, God willing one day to your great-grandchildren, in memory of your father. And this is just a great event, and I'm so glad. Eli Berkovich here at his home, where we are about to finish the writing of the Torah, the Hachnasa Sefer Torah, the parade to Heritage, where it's going to be placed, and the celebration there as well. Stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug for this great simcha in West Rogers Park here in Chicago with the Berkovich family, and we'll be back.
Never want to hear me? I'll try to project my voice a little bit. It's truly amazing to see this site. I would like to share a little bit about our father, in whose memory the Sefer Torah was written. I'm going to do most of it I'm going to try to read it because I wanted to formulate my thoughts a certain way, so I'm going to do it like that. I'm not going to be drawing parallels between this week's Parsha and some exemplary Midah characteristic that our father possessed. Perhaps later on today, those far more qualified than me will do that. I want to speak about something a bit more personal, my personal perspective on Dad, as we call it. 15 years and 1 week ago today, as Yard said it was last Moti Shabbos, our family experienced an unimaginably painful loss. I can still viscerally recall those painful moments today. But as I've gotten older and a bit greater, I've come to appreciate that the reason that the time was so painful was that we were so blessed and fortunate to have Dad all those years in the first place. When you lose someone that you love and cherish, it should hurt. So that pain was simply a reflection of how truly special our father-son bond really was. I want to share a story of a man who came to a foreign land, this country, over 33 years ago now, with my brother and me, Mom, a couple of suitcases with 1980 Soviet-era attire, and of course, our entire net worth of $100. 5% of which was promptly spent on a box of strawberries, that we'd only seen those in pictures before. And when I say foreign country, I'm not using that word lightly. I really mean foreign, as in almost alien. I recall having a booklet in the house provided to us by an organization called HIAS, which was an immigrant aid society that outlined the basics of things such as how to properly greet someone in America. This is a true story, believe it or not. Things such as someone says, "Hi, how are you?" It may not be so socially appropriate to say, "So, my back has been bothering me lately." This may sound like a satire or a comedic bit, but this was very much real life, our real life. We may chuckle at this now, but for Dad, this was like stepping into an alternate universe. Soon Dad found work and grew professionally and stepped into a shul for the first time. That shul was the old Free building. We have younger Rabbi Nathan, Rabbi Levi here, Nathan, which is currently YTT's parking lot. He immediately sent my brother and me to Cheder Lubavitch, and that was the genesis of our journey. It's interesting because Russian Jews came to the U.S. on the premise of being refugees due to Jewish persecution. However, most just chose to quickly assimilate and blend into suburban life. Not Dad. Unlike most Russian Jewish immigrants, he chose to establish roots in this community, since authentic Jewish education for his sons was very important to him. I wanted to paint this picture because as we stand here today with Benny Friedman somewhere in the crowd, in this beautiful event, in many ways far removed from that time, but really truly connected to that, as Dad's early sacrifices set us on this meaningful Yiddishkeit trajectory. Those early decisions really laid the foundation for us as we stand here today. Just like a Sefer Torah is the foundation and guide of a Jewish home, Dad was the foundation and guide of our Jewish home. I would like to share several foundational characteristics of Dad and their generational reverberations that I believe were core to who he was. I would say first and foremost, not in any particular order, but it's his integrity and honesty. Our father was a man of his word. If he promised something, he delivered. And if he believed something, he lived it. I never saw him waver from his commitments, and he expected no less from us. He believed that honesty and integrity were non-negotiable. That one's word was sacred, and that life was built on the trust one earned. See, now I might shed a tear because this is my dad's mom. She arrived here with nearly nothing and never once let that discourage him. Every day he worked smart and hard as if everything depended on it, because he believed it did, as he had a young family that depended on him. There was no job too small, no task beneath him. As the first job our master's educated dad took a few days in America was as a furniture mover. Through his example, he taught us that hard work wasn't just about results. It was about character. It was about pride in doing something well, no matter what it was and who was around to see it. Our father was a man who understood that family was his greatest responsibility and privilege. His love was deeply rooted and always evident in the countless little things he did for us. He would do anything to make us feel safe and loved, always putting our needs above his own. Our happiness, our well-being, our future, that was his priority. And in everything he did, he carried us with him, always remembering that each sacrifice was worth it if it meant a better life for us. But the true cornerstone of this foundation was his devotion to Torah learning and mitzvahs. Dad's relationship with his Yiddishkeit was deep and unshakable. No matter how demanding his work, no matter how tired he was, he made time for minyan and learning. He sought guidance from Torah, following its teachings in every facet of his life. He didn't just learn Torah, he lived it. When Dad passed, during one of the quieter times of Shiva, there was a knock on the door. And for some reason, nobody was around except me. There was a man at the door who I knew, and he handed me an envelope stuffed with $100 bills. When I asked him what it was for, he said that Dad helped him out over the years. And before Dad got sick, this man borrowed a larger sum to pay for a wedding that he was making. And he was now paying it back. That wedding was from 3 years before that. Dad never spoke about it. When Dad became successful professionally, he felt tremendous responsibility to be a good shliach, a steward of the resources Hashem blessed him with. I remember him saying, This always stayed with me. If I'm not going to give, then who will? He understood and taught us that parnasa is simply a tool to be used for good, not the final goal or the destination in itself. And perhaps nobody was around on that Shiva day except me was exactly what Dad would have wanted. He was a quiet man who did big things and led by example, and quietly building something even bigger for future generations. As Dad spoke to the point and used his words wisely, it's best to describe him in just one word: a mensch. Although the Sefer Torah's physical home may be inside the Aron Kodesh on the corner of Touhy and Francisco, it should really reside in each of us here, as its lessons we must take with us everywhere we go. Just like Dad may physically not be here with us today, his lessons live on through my brother and I, and our responsibility is to pass it on to our children. Although he sadly never met our children, his grandchildren, they are the real treasure of legacy that he left behind. Dad's Baal Tshuva journey illustrates that our everyday decisions and actions have very real and profound generational ripple effects. As I reflect on his life, I feel an overwhelming gratitude for the values he left us with. His wisdom, integrity, love for us, and his devotion to Torah live on in each of us. Although he's not here physically, here with us today, his spirit, his lessons, and his love remain with us. I just wanted to leave off with this. As we know, nothing happens in this world by chance or happenstance. It's all perfectly orchestrated from the one above. Or to borrow a lyric from Benny's Friedman song, who has a lot of Russian lyrics in it, the master plan is more than just a silver lining. It's a golden world created just for you. The essence of that song is gratitude. A mere week ago, on Erev our father's yahrzeit, 15th yahrzeit, in this very location, an incident took place that attempted to extinguish the light of the Jewish people. Out of all the places that this quote-unquote bad guy, as my son says, could have chosen to park his car, he chose to do that right here behind Eli's car, in front of this house, before going out to try to harm Yidden. And here we are today, standing on that very spot, beginning the Chaknasa Sefer Torah parade, as Yidden have done for generations. We're taking darkness and evil and turning it into light and good. It's a powerful reminder that while some may try to instill fear, our response is resilience. With this new Sefer Torah, we're showing that their actions will not define us. Our strength of emunah and bitachon will prevail. With each step of this parade and our own steps in life, may the shining light of Torah grow brighter and brighter and continue to illuminate the world around us. Amen.
The Torah Scroll is Zev Chaim Ben Eliezer Mordechai. Zevi.
Sofer Torah, Hashem Moshe.
Yad. And the Kesser.
Thank you all so much for coming and sharing in our amazing simcha for my father. I first want to thank Hashem, of course, for everything He does and for all His goodness and kindness. I want to thank my wife, who ever since I mentioned to her the dream that I had of writing a Sefer Torah for my father, going back several years, really 15 years, she immediately embraced it and encouraged me to do it. I also want to thank her for all the effort she has put into making this simcha as beautiful as Baruch Hashem it is, and perhaps most importantly, for taking care of our family and our home on a daily basis, allowing me to go learn early mornings and late evenings. I know it's not easy, and I greatly appreciate it. I, of course, want to thank my mother for always being there for me when I was growing up. I never thought I could do anything wrong. I still don't. And now doing the same for my children. For constantly showing me what boundless, unconditional love toward your children and your spouse looks like. And above all, for instilling an extremely healthy sense of confidence in us during our formative years. And then there was my brother and our other brother, my friend Igor, who 3 years ago, on Chav Hei Tishrei, my father's yahrzeit, after everyone went home from shul, my brother, myself, and Igor stayed in shul for several more hours, until 2, 3 in the morning, reminiscing about my father. And I brought this idea up, and Igor looked at me and said, "It'll be awesome. Knowing your father, he will be proud of you and appreciate it. You should do it." I looked back at him, and then at my big brother, who gave me that unique older brother affirming look, as if to say, "You got this." Shortly after, I called Rabbi Agashtin, and we began the process. Now, an enormous thank you goes to Rabbi Agashtin, who I've been privileged to learn with pretty much ever since he moved to Chicago, and especially over the last several years, since he's become part of Heritage.
Well, that's it for the Berkovich family Hachnasa Sefer Torah dedication. I want to thank Eli and Bela Berkovich. I want to thank everyone at Heritage, and I want to thank all of you for being with us. It's been a wonderful day, and it's been a great simcha. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former shows on the web. If you want to send the Berkovich family an email or send us an email, the email address is info@tvrabbi.com. Remember, we're on at this time every week, so hope to see you next time right here on Taped with Rabbi Doug. Shalom, everyone.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.